Unit 6, Day 18, we're going to review factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient. Your learning targets are up on the screen. Let's jump into this right away because it's going to take a while. Alright, so let's remember that we have the FOIL is going to be, the F will be 7x and x. So the only way to get 7x squared is 7x times x. So I know right off the bat that I will have a 7x in one and an x in the other. And then my O and my I added together has to be negative 11, and my last term multiplied together has to be negative 30. So when I think of negative 30, I think of one positive, one negative. So 1 times negative 30, or the vice versa, negative 1 times positive 30, 2 times negative 15, or negative 2 times 15, 3 times negative 10, and negative 3 times positive 10, as well as 5 times negative 6 and the reversal of that. Alright, so with all that said, we don't know which one's going to work, so we got to try a few of them. Putting in, let's go with the negative 5 and 6. Looking at the results when I do outside and inside, I would get 42 and a minus 5x. And that's going to be 37x. That doesn't work. So if you would switch the two around, maybe we put 6 and a minus 5 this way, you would get negative 35 and a plus 6 with the x's, which is closer, but really not close enough. So I'm thinking that the 5 and the negative 6, or vice versa, will not be working. So I'm going to go to the next one. So let's try the negative 3 and the 10. So if I tried negative 3 and a positive 10 this way, outside is going to be 70x. Looks like it's going to be way too big. So if we switched them around, 10 and a minus 3 like that, I get a minus 21x and a plus 10x, which is going to be a negative 11x, which is what we needed, and thus we have now factored it. The next one, again, first and the outside plus the inside, and then the last. Now as far as the first is concerned, we're thinking maybe 8x and 1x, or probably 4x and 2x. So let's put that out there. If we put a 4x and a 2x here, and then I have to look at my last term is a positive 15, at least that's going to be the same sign. And if so, positive times positive or negative times negative, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be negative and negative, so I'm going to put some minuses right there and just look at the base numbers of 1 and 15, 3 and 5. And let's look at 3 and 5 like so, and hopefully we get lucky. Outside and inside, it looks like a negative 20x and a minus 6x, which is a minus 26x, and we did get lucky. There we go. Let's move on to the next. This one's a little bit easier, just because there's less options. So first term is 5x and x, and my last term is 1, so plus 1 and a plus 1, and it should work if it's going to work. So 5x for the outside, 1x for the inside, that's 6x. We're done. This one's a little bit more complicated. So my first term is either going to be 10x and x, or 5x and 2x, probably the 5x and the 2x, but we could be wrong. So 5x and 2x for the first parts of the two equations, or parentheses, and then I got to look at negative 27. So my last term is negative 27, so positive and negative of 1 and negative 27, or negative 1 and positive 27, or 3 and negative 9, or negative 3 and positive 9. Let's just start from the bottom there. So if I put maybe a minus 3 here and a plus 9 there, we'll see if we get lucky. Outside and inside gives me 45x minus 6x, which is 39x, and again, we got lucky. Hopefully our luck will continue on the other page. All right. Alright, first outside plus the inside and the last. So my first, my only option is 3x and x. Alright, so let's start there. So I have 3x and an x, and my last, to get a negative 20, it's going to be 1's going to be positive, 1's going to be negative. And maybe you need to write all these out, or maybe you notice which one might work the best. Alright, I'm going to start with the bottom right there, negative 4 and positive 5. Now let's just make sure it works, and then it gives me outside and inside. Outsides are 15x, inside's a minus 4x, equals 11x. And then again, somehow I got lucky, but let's remember it is equal to 0. So equals 0. That means 3x minus 4 equals 0, or x plus 5 equals 0, and we'll work it out from there. Add 4 to both sides. So we'd have 3x equals 4 and divide by 3. And this one, subtract 5 to both sides, and I like to put the smaller number first, so negative 5 or 4/3. Alright, the next one here. The first term is 15x squared, so my first term, it's either going to be 15x and x, which I kind of doubt, or 5x and 3x. So let's try that one first. So if I tried 5x and I tried 3x, and then all I have to do is look at the last term to get negative 8. So 1 times negative 8, or negative 1 times positive 8, 2 times negative 4, or negative 2 times positive 4. Let's try the minus 2 and the plus 4 and see what I get. Looks like I get 20x minus 6x. That's 14x. That's not going to work. So if we tried 5x plus 4 and 3x minus 2, and let's see if that one works. And that's going to give me outside of negative 10x plus 12x. That gives me 2x, not 37. So it looks like that one's not going to work with the 2 and the 4, so I am going to try the minus 8 and the plus 1, see if that works. And that gives me 5x and a minus 24x. That one doesn't seem to work very nicely, so maybe if I switched them around and gave myself a 5x plus 1 and a 3x minus 8 and see what that gives me. Outside is negative 40, inside is 3x, and that's negative 37x, and it's still equal to 0. So you're not even done with this yet. You have to go 5x plus 1 equals 0, or 3x minus 8 equals 0. Solve them separately. So subtract 1 to both sides, so 5x equals negative 1, and divide by 5. And then add 8, and 3x equals 8, divide by 3. So for this one, looks like my answer is x equals negative 1/5 and or 8/3. Alright, let's keep on going. Subtract 8 to both sides, so we will have 9x squared minus 3x minus 2. Their first term is either going to be a 9 and 1 or a 3 and 3. Probably 3 and 3. Let's go with that one. 3x and 3x. And the last term is either 1 and negative 2 or negative 1 and positive 2. Let's go with the plus 1 and minus 2. Outside and insides give us a minus 6x and a plus 3x. Sure enough, that does work. It's set equal to 0. So we'll go 3x plus 1 equals 0, or 3x minus 2 equals 0. Solve that by subtracting 1 to both sides. So 3x equals negative 1, and divide by 3. And this other one, add 2 to both sides. and divide by 3. So your answer is going to be, for this one, x will equal negative 1/3 or 2/3. Alright, this one here, let's FOIL it. So you'll have 3y squared plus 9y plus 2y plus 6 equals y plus 14. Combine your like terms, 3y squared plus 11y plus 6 equals y plus 14. Getting your y's on one side, getting your number on one side, so we will equal to 0. It will be 3y squared plus 10y minus 8 equals 0, and then you can factor it. So chances are it's going to be 3y and y, and the negative 8, with the negative 8 you have 1 and negative 8, you have negative 1 and 8, you have 2 and negative 4, and you have negative 2 and positive 4. Let's try that one. Negative 2, positive 4, see what we get. On the outside and inside, we get 12y minus 2y, which is 10y. That works. So set equal to 0. We'll have 3y minus 2 equals 0, or y plus 4 equals 0. Add 2 to both sides. Divide by 3. Subtract 4 to both sides. You get y equals negative 4. So your answer is y equals negative 4 or 2/3. Alright, this last one, subtract 8x to both sides. You'll get 2x squared plus 7x plus 5 equals 0. Factoring it, you'll have a 2x and an x, and you'll have a 5 and a 1. I'm going to go with plus 5 plus 1, and let's see if that works for us. We will have 2x and a 5x. That is 7x is what I needed, equal to 0. So 2x plus 5 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 5 to both sides, and divide by 2 to both sides. And this one, subtract 1 to both sides. And so what you're going to have is x equals negative 5 halves, or negative 1. And there you go.